Dobre. Dobre veche, everybody. Megovan and Melanin. Welcome to the Why Ukraine live stream. I hope that my delay isn't too bad this time, and it's not, YouTube likes to start me right about 30 seconds into my live stream. So I'll say it again. Dobre veche, everybody from Ukraine. That means good evening, in case you wanted to know. And Megovan and Melanin means well met, my friends. In Elvish, not Ukrainian. But it is great to see you all here. And, well, we have some tough news to start out with today. But first, I need to tell you why I was late today. And unfortunately, I have to tell you, I can't show you where I was or what I was doing. I'm in a city somewhere here in Ukraine. This this apartment that I'm in was basically the city put me up in a the city put me up in a I guess an apartment. They're kind of like a renovated city-owned building, and I have been teaching children drones, and lots of things related to drone, which is something I spoke about, I believe, last Sunday, and I'm doing it. So and if you look behind me, this flag that you see behind me was signed today by all the children and teachers that I've been teaching all week, which is pretty awesome. And the reason that I had to push our live stream back today so much is because I was at a memorial ceremony for fallen soldiers here in this town. And unfortunately, I can't show you the ceremony because it was outside, and that would allow it to be geolocated. And yeah, I can't do that. So what I can show you is one of the teachers that I was working with, who was learning right alongside the students, actually, but also, helped me with managing the kids, although they were really well behaved. One of my helpers, adult helpers, was the village priest, actually, and well, first of all, let me tell you something. Everybody, and eventually I will release these videos that I made. Everybody in the whole town was in tears, okay, at this memorial ceremony. I mean, so many grieving families over their lost husbands and sons, and fathers and brothers. And I was in tears, to be honest with you, really. And then okay, here's the thing. Like, this guy who was helping me, with the children and stuff. I mean, he introduced himself. He said, "Yeah, my name's Father John, Ivan." So he introduced himself as Father John, and he said, "Yeah, I'm a priest." But he wasn't dressed as a priest. He was wearing fatigues, and sunglasses, and didn't have a big long beard like most of the priests here. Hello, Catherine. By the way, welcome everyone. Today is an amazing day, and I'm sorry that I'm a little bit unprepared. I mean, I didn't have time to do my normal preparations that I do, because obviously I'm sun up to sundown here. I am working my ass off. Um, but I want to just thank everybody who's here: Catherine, Cheryl, Silver Earth, Sir Garrick, Shere Khan. Hello. Um, yeah, Salt of the Red Earth. Uh, it's great. It's great to have everyone here. Oh, and Bell. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. And yes, Shere Khan, you're not late for once. I'm the one who's late. Cheryl, to answer your question, Catholic or Orthodox, this is a Ukrainian Orthodox church. Um, so anyway, so this guy who was helping me with it, you know, um, he had been wearing fatigues all week, camos, and at this memorial ceremony, people there was different people who were giving like reading poetry and singing songs and stuff, and there was probably, I don't know, 400-500 people, at least 300 people there, and then Father John walks out and he's wearing a priest's robe and the whole getup, you know. And I was like, oh shit, wow, he really is a priest. He's the village priest, you know. And now he's like my best freaking friend, which is funny because you know I'm not, yeah, I'm what they call a yazichnik, means basically pagan. um, but yeah, so after the ceremony, and I did make some video, and I try to balance like being respectful with the fact that I I feel like you guys, the world, Americans, European, everybody outside of Ukraine needs to see this, needs to know who these people were, you know, and it's my way of honoring them, I guess, in a way. Um, I hope it doesn't seem crass when I'm making video on my phone. I try to do it in a respectful way. It's hard to know where that line is, though. Anyway, the point is, so Father John, no, not Yazidi, Cheryl, no, Yazichnik means is the it's the it just means pagan, you know, follower of pre-Christian religions of any kind. Usually, it specifically refers to like Slavic paganism, but I think it just, you know, paganism in general. You know, I don't know the word for agnostic in Ukrainian. It's probably aznostiki or something. But anyway, I say it as a half joke. But anyway, the point is, Father John um, came to me after the ceremony, and there's a big church next door, and a really beautiful church actually. And he's like, "Come with me," you know, and he gave me a tour of his church. You know, um, oh, that's true, Cheryl. Yes, Yazidis are pagan. Technically, they may argue with that. I don't know how they define themselves. Um, so I want to just take a minute here because I I sent some of the videos. Basically, the village priest wanted to, you know, do a prayer for me, you know, with the candles. You know how in like Catholic churches you got the candle thing. Well, that's a big deal in Orthodox churches as well. You got the you know, the beeswax candles. They have to be beeswax candles. It's very specific. They're these long, thin beeswax candles. And let me see if I'm hoping that I can save this. And so I can't show you the outer ceremony, but I can show you now. I didn't feel it was respectful for me to be making a video as he's making these prayers for me with the candles and stuff. Although I wish I could have, you know, I wish was wearing a GoPro for this or something because it was just so amazing. Don't worry, I'm not going to convert here. Okay. Uh, but okay, let's see if I can share with you some of these videos, because that's what I want to do right now. Yes, and open with no. And I apologize. This obviously I'm not a professional videographer, as you will soon discover if you were not already aware. Um, okay, so here we go. So this is the priest, and I think that the sound is not going to work on this video, or maybe it will. Tell me if you guys can hear this. Yeah. So in East for Easter here. Oh yeah, yeah, the songs, the music. I recorded a lot of the music. Okay, a lot of the music. Um, so I mean, but this guy, I think he might have also been a soldier. I think he was a soldier before. Um, okay, and then no, yeah, no sound on that. Okay, uh, yeah, sorry about that. And then I will show you just another one here. This is really something interesting. Uh, yeah. So this is one of those. What do you call it? Yeah. Sorry about the no sound. Salt of the red earth. Um, sorry about that. Um, but what do you call it when these things that you put the candles in? You put the lit candles in these stands. So this is a lit, like a candle stand, a candelabra. Is that what it's called? So this is a candle stand that is made of like shells. Oh my god, thank you. Taras. You know what? By the way, uh Taras here. Thank you for coming, Taras. Taras is one of my students from the uh oh, Taras, you might find out some secrets here today. Maybe okay, I guess I will not. There are some things I will not tell because I have some secrets for the students. Thank you. Okay, a candle holder. All right, great. So yeah, so this is a like a church candle holder made from uh, shells and yeah, it was an incredibly moving experience, is what I would say, and the whole memorial ceremony was just incredibly moving. At some point, I will show all you guys um, the 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 rest of it. I can't show it right now without either editing the video here. Since Taras let me know that the first video I showed was in the small screen, let me do it again in the big screen so I can show properly. Thank you. Here we go. Now we can see. Here we go. So now this is what you would call a candelabra, right? Yeah. Um, JP Vanek, thank you for coming. By the way, um, these are their Easter eggs, and so it's just a beautiful church and beautiful town. I have to say that in all my travels throughout Ukraine, I have not met, I have not been to a more patriotic town. Like, oh my gosh, this town is like patriotichny, as they say, to the freaking max. Kirkon chandelier, yeah, I guess it's probably a chandelier. I don't know. I think with the way I think of it is Yeah, okay, you're right. Chandelier is the correct word. Sure, Khan. Thank you very much. Um, so, and I asked the children because you guys know, I have had some of these postcards that these are postcards that I usually give to soldiers, and I ask the soldiers to write a note or sign something that um oh, last white rose, it looks like a chandelier to me also. Okay, cool. Last white rose, remind me again where you are from. Are you by any chance from Wales or Scotland? Anyway, um so I asked the children that I was teaching if they wanted to write some notes to soldiers in the International Legion, um, that would like encourage them. Make I told them, I was telling the children about, like, there's Americans fighting for your country here, and they were. I mean, I think they kind of knew this, but they were a little bit surprised. And when I said, would you be interested in writing like a letter or a postcard or something? They were like, yeah. And holy cow, these kids wrote freaking books. I was like, okay, but you have to write it in English, okay? They wrote freaking books, okay? Like, um, I mean, even like the youngest child, who is like 8, just absolutely, like, they put their heart and soul into this, man. And so I'm going to take these postcards with these letters from children, and I'm going to send them to the International Legion barracks, the training center, um, where they, because I want, our volunteers, our soldiers who are, coming to Ukraine to fight. I want them to understand that people care, about them here. You know, um, Oh my gosh, some of the kids put their Instagram. That's that. Wow, look at that. That's very. That's pretty funny. Um, but yeah, there's just all these beautiful letters, and you know, it's just wonderful stuff. And couple of the kids, maybe their hands were getting tired, so they just drew pictures. But yeah, I mean, it's just been like such an amazing week, you guys. Um, and yeah, so that's my first update. I'm sorry if you guys are here for the news. We are going to get to like the news, because what did I start out with? I started off with bad news, um, which apparently just happened. This is like new news. Um, but let's wait. Let's wait just a second before we get to that, because I have some really amazing news, and that's this. You guys, somebody donated like 1,005. I haven't even had time running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And here we go. This is what I needed to show you. Somebody just donated uh three well no 1,000, I think $1,500, or basically it was enough, because we were at 1,200 on Sunday, and then we jumped up to 1,400. No, we were at 1,400 on Sunday. So basically, somebody donated enough to bring it up to 3,500. So we are, as soon as I get back home tomorrow, I'm going to start looking for here for these guys, and just so I can show you. I mean, I'll just show you how I'm going to do that. They have the Ukrainian version of Olix. I'm sorry, the Ukrainian version. Wow, it's been a crazy day. The Ukrainian version of Craigslist is called Wix, is what I meant to say, and it looks like this. And this is where Ukrainians go to buy stuff. And in this case, we can look at cars. And you know, if you want to buy a cheap car, now here where it's trucks, when they say trucks, what they mean is like semi trucks. Okay, so what we call like I guess a pickup is still classified under passenger cars. Oh no, I have to. It won't. It's not. It's having trouble translating. Let's see if it. Okay. So basically, now I have to go through this list, and I have to convert from grivnas, and it's going to take a while, all right, for me to find the vehicle. But I mean, I expect like over the weekend, I should be able to find several prospects, and it might take a week or two to finalize the purchase and everything. But yeah, so it's rolling, man. And yeah, it was one person, and I know somebody messaged me and on like Sunday or Monday. Somebody messaged me and said, "Hey James, I sent some money. Can you check and make sure it went through?" And then I lost track of that message, and I just haven't had time to check the I haven't had time to check the Shopify records to go into the back end and look at where all the donations have come from. So yeah, guys, you crushed it. You fin crushed it. Okay, it's amazing. And this is gonna save lives. And I mean, honestly, this truck, whatever it is, it'll be something like this. Okay, something along these lines. Whatever it is, however long it lasts, it's going to get destroyed. We know that that's going to happen. I'm at peace with that. But in the meantime, until before then, it's going to be used as a meta. And logistics vehicle. It's not going to be like All right, am I back? Yeah, sorry everybody. Okay, there we go. So yeah, sorry everyone. Give me just 1 second. My wife is trying to call me. Here's the thing. The internet is not. This is the only bad thing about this town. Maybe is they don't have good internet, and I'm actually going to try and help them solve that problem. But okay, I need to call my wife and not call her. I'm going to message her. Babe, I am live streaming right now. If you want to talk to me, you'll have to you'll have to go to my YouTube channel. Lol. That's a lol. Okay. Anyway, the thing is because I am because I'm tethering off of my phone. I have unlimited internet on my phone. I'm tethering off my phone, and anytime someone makes a phone call, it cuts off the data. So, like, that's what just happened, guys. Sorry about that. And yeah, okay. So maybe my wife will join us. Okay. So yeah, I have my students here, I have my wife here. Pretty soon the whole family is going to join the live stream. God knows I need it. Yeah. Mr. Squiggle, tell her she can make requests. Yeah, so it's an amazing time. I just like I want to show you some video of the children and of the training that we're doing. So let me see if I can do that right now. The enthusiasm of these kids for learning this stuff is really amazing. I've not just drones. I've also been teaching circuit board soldering and basic um, electronics. And I mean, you wouldn't expect, like, if you're a teenager, okay, or a 8, 9, 10-year-old child, how interesting is circuit board soldering gonna be to you? You know, like why would that these so these are old these are like used circuit boards that somebody scrounged up. I don't know, maybe they came from the local computer shop or somewhere, and I got a bunch of soldering irons and some solder, and just said, here, go to town, go crazy on it, and showed them how to just do basic soldering. And they've been all of these wires. They've been practicing this over and over and over. I sat down with one kid today, teenager, who's probably like 15, 16, and we started talking about the components on this board, on this circuit board that you're looking at here. Belle, thank you so much. Gifting memberships to people. I enough, you guys. And I don't really thank you guys enough for. I mean, again, going back to this, like, I'm floored, to be honest. Because honestly, I felt like feeling last Sunday, just like, oh man, I'm never gonna make this happen, and I failed my friends, and I know they're gonna need this truck very soon, and I was really pretty to be honest. And then you guys came through, and not only did you come through, you came through, because I see more people have donated even more in the past week. So it's thank you so much. But so the kid today sat down with me, and I talked to him about all of the different components on the circuit board, which I happen to know. Bell, you gifted to Greg Terry. Yeah, that's good. That's good, actually. He was doing a really cool fundraiser this week for something. I can't remember what I popped in. I was on that. It was like a live stream, wasn't it? Anyway, the Wasp was the guy, right? That he was interviewing with, sitting down with. Anyway, the point is, so this kid goes through, and like he's telling me, like, I'm telling him about different things like capacitors, diodes, resistors, and it turns out that he's been, like, in the past week, he went online himself of his own accord and studied this stuff, to the point where we just sat down and had a whole conversation about different kinds of capacitors and resistors, transistors, and all the resistor color codes. And it was like, it was having a discussion with, not with like a student who's resistant to to do stuff. It's like, I don't want to, you know I don't want to learn anything. It was like a colleague, like having a conversation with a colleague. Um, uh, Nils, maybe Enforcer and Merc, I'm not giving to. Is that because of their beef with each other? Okay, listen, I refuse to talk about that. I'm not kidding. I'm not digging that hole right now. Um, oh, Bell for CPR dummies to train soldiers on. Very important. Super, super important. I trained on a CPR dummy. Hello, Maggie. Go? Is it go? There's there's it golf. I hear it pronounced different ways in America versus other places. So anyway, and by the way, not to out him or anything, but one of our viewers who I don't know if he's still viewing right now, but Taras, similarly, like just the amount of curiosity, genuine curiosity, and interest that these kids are showing um on this subject, that Taras today, Taras came up and asked me some questions um, about how do I say this? About angle of attack. Okay. And we're talking about aerodynamics and speaking not just about drones, but about aircraft in general. And how what is angle of attack and how does it affect the design of a plane or of a wing or of a blade, like a rotor blade. And I frankly, I was a little bit taken aback because it was um it was such a deep question. And so this is on day one, by the way. This video is day one. It was such a deep question, and I realized that I kind of I didn't give the wrong answer. I gave kind of a half answer. So Taras, if you are still watching, remind me tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a short day. Remind me tomorrow that I want to go into a deeper explanation with you about how, like, angle of attack versus aspect ratio, how those are important, how we need to talk. Maybe I'll have a little lesson tomorrow about lift versus drag and how they fight against each other, but can also help each other in a way. Um, and why some plane, what I did talk about today was why some planes and some blades are long and thin, and some planes have short fat wings. um, and how that provides lift and versus efficiency. But I think I didn't give as good of an explanation as I would have liked to. So anyway, yeah, guys. So here's the first day when you can see the drones, or you can see one of the drones. So what I did was I bought 5 of these toy drones, and they were only like $10 or $15 each, maybe like $15 each. And so here's a video. This this is from today or yesterday. I guess no, maybe this is from yesterday. So basically, this is just kind of an obstacle course, actually, that the kids have set up. And in order to, so we also have some real drones, like um, yeah, Cheryl, it's amazing that kids can learn what geometry is actually for. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the whole thing. Like, the way that I teach and the way that I started this was, not a big lecture, none of that stuff. Just put a drone in their hands. I just said, "Here's a drone. Go fly it." You know, that's it. And uh, they some of them were like, "What? you want us to just fly a drone?" Yes, Mr. Swiggle, these are perfect for learning to fly. You know, Uh, so we bought 5 of them, and I mean, they've already broken half of them, to be honest. Um, but it's fine. You know, mean, I realized that we were going to need more. So on Sunday, I just went and like 5 more drones, and so you can see the obstacle course that the kids made. They they cut out these shapes, okay, and hung. Well, I helped them hang them from these chandeliers. Look at those chandeliers, and so the deal is that before they were allowed to fly the Mavic, which we have a couple of Mavic drones, and before they could be allowed to fly the Mavic drone, they had to fly um, these drones through the obstacle course. So they had to get certified. Basically, that's the idea, anyway. And they did. Yeah. So yes, and yeah, they broke a lot of drones, and we did not actually do any drone repair. I taught them that's what the circuit board soldering was about, like why I was teaching circuit board soldering. But these drones in particular, they're so cheap, just so cheap that like once they are broken, it's. I mean, I taught them the basics of how to fix these drones, and I'm leaving the drones with the kids. I mean, with this, it's a city program for this. It's kind of like ROTC basically, and so I am sure that they will eventually repair some of these drones. But I mainly wanted to focus on just getting them flying the drones, really. Anyway, so today, almost everybody passed. There were a couple people who didn't, they were a little bit too young, maybe too, but almost everybody passed. And so we were able to take, Aussie English is useless. Salt of the red earth. That's funny. Speaking from here in Ukraine, there's a lot of Ukrainians who would argue with you, but there's a lot of Ukrainians who would agree. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, so all the kids who passed the obstacle course today got to go outside and fly the Mavic drone actually outside, which I did not know that was allowed. I guess they got special permission to be allowed to fly the Mavic drone outside as long as it was no more than about 50 feet in the air. So, Aussie, we are handing out oblasts. Mitch has Kamchatka. Nils has Kursk. Nice. I like this idea. I like it a lot. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing this week, and it's amazing. It's been amazing. And I will be sharing more video and stuff about that in the future as I get home and kind of get things collected. And I really have to be careful and check for OPSEC. I don't want to expose what city I'm in, and where this is being done, all stuff. So with that out of the way, let's talk about this news. I mean, we knew this was going to happen eventually. I didn't expect it already. The Wall Street Journal reporting an F-16 crashed in Ukraine on August 26th. So that's 3 days ago. Like whoa. That was fast. It's disconcerting. I'd be lying to you if I said otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's disconcerting for sure. Like, why so quickly? But it also makes sense, however, when you think about it, because new pilots, right? You know, you're going to have a bunch of new pilots, and they're going to have, they're going to have problems their first few times out. And so it kind of makes sense. I haven't had a chance to see like where this happened. The plane was not brought down by fire, perhaps. Crash was likely the result of pilot error, and I mean, it's really sucks because that's pilot, Did the pilot make it out? That's a good question. That is a good question. I would like to hope so, because the pilot's much more valuable than the plane. That's the question. Really the question. So I a little bit taken aback that it happened so fast. Was he landing or drone debris? Yeah. So, and the fact that they don't say where. Okay, that's like, where did this happen? And it's just so. Oh, you heard Lutsk, Cheryl? Why Lutsk? Like, there's nothing happening in Lutsk. Like, what would be the point of anyone flying in Lutsk right now? Oh, interesting. Nils, you lost a cousin from a F-16. Wow. Okay. Point. I assumed Russia. Ozzy Baga says, I assumed Russia would be doing all they could to take out F-16s on the ground on day one. Yeah, that's interesting. They seem focused on, on infrastructure and not even caring about the F-16s, which is a little strange. A little bit strange. So this week, has been with, I think I mentioned on Monday, I mentioned on my community tab that I actually saw my first Shaheed on Monday. It was just getting here where I am here in the middle of Ukraine, and I was eating pizza outside, like an outdoor cafe, and I heard it, and I actually think I've heard that sound before. Well, obviously it sounds like a freaking moped rice rocket. Yeah, it was during the really big attack. Okay, so according to Telegram, he was repelling a missile attack from Russia. So that makes sense why it would be on the 26th. That makes perfect sense, Bell. Thank you. Thank you for that. Because I really was like, it makes sense then if it was over Lutsk, because if he was like, let's say if he was chasing Shaheeds all over the place, then I don't know. Yeah. So we got to talk about Pokrovsk, I guess. And I just, here's my feeling on Pokrovsk. Like, okay. Oh, Cheryl, Lutz got hit. Yeah. That kind of makes sense then. Yeah, Cheryl, listening to Justin Bronk flying F-16 sounds incredibly complicated. Yeah. Well, you give the pilot more power, but he has more choices to make. And a lot more things he has to think about, you know. Yeah, so here's another article about it. One of the F-16's fighter jets recently delivered to Ukraine crashed while repelling. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, so this gives a little more detail here. According to the military, the F-16 shot down 4 Russian cruise missiles during the attack, demonstrating high efficiency. During the approach to the next target, communication with one of the jets was lost. As it turned out later, the plane crashed and the pilot was killed. I'm sorry. Yeah, Bell, I see that. Some media channels are trying to portray it as pilot error, but fail to mention the missiles. Yeah, flying in from every freaking direction. You know? Yeah, Cheryl, people were killed in Lutsk. Um, you're right. Now we're only speculating, but Cheryl made a good point that there's so many different things happening in a new pilot. You could just imagine, like, you've got a million different switches to choose from, and I hit the wrong freaking switch or pulled back the wrong way, and Millennium, yeah, Aussie Bugga says Millennium Tech 7 History Channel aeronautics expert who tries to simplify it but still loses me in my ignorance, said trainers in Romania say Ukrainian F-16 trainees have too much testosterone and are too gung-ho. That's kind of funny. Yeah, maybe he just tried to push it to the limit. I mean, you can just imagine, like, if you were trained for 5 or 10 years or something on an Su-24 or some other completely different type of system, and then things get crazy, right? Missiles are coming in from all directions, and you get distracted. You're not paying attention, and all of a sudden, you just do something automatically, and you're doing the right thing, but for the wrong plane. you know. Um. So yeah. So a couple of you have mentioned Pokrovsk. The orcs are 5 miles away. And so yeah, let's go back to that. So here's my feeling on it. Okay. I just can't believe that. And all right, maybe it's copium or hopium here, but I can't believe that Ukraine is just letting this. I can't believe the Ukrainian army is just kind of going, oh, okay, well, we're going to push up here and screw Pokrovsk. That's really hard for me to accept. And since the last time we talked about it last week, you'll notice that this area, and by the way, SkruffyTalez, and several other commentators now have spoken about this Krasny Yar area and how Hrodivka, I guess, is a big kind of a fortress town, and so the Russians are going around it. And it kind of seems like that would be logical. I mean, this pathway that they're taking, what I'm trying to say is, the more I look at this situation, the more I just think, man, I really think this guy, Starsky, if he's good enough to do what he did in Kursk. Okay, now granted, Kursk is not being run directly by him. Pokrovsk is not being run directly by him. He has commanders under him who are handling these things. But to be honest, the Ukrainian reaction has felt to me a bit too nonchalant. A bit too nonchalant to me. Not a criticism at all. I just think that my hopium, as I said last time we talked about this, is that this is part of a strategy. That this is like, deep battle theory, and some brigade or another is going to come storming across this area right here, cut off the rail line, and I don't know, possibly another one coming from this direction. But this seems like it would be tough. I don't know. Yeah, and Cheryl, that's right. I heard Ukraine withdrew from the trenches without fighting in them. Why is my question. So there's some mayor of one of these towns out here, who literally went out to the trenches himself, where he could see the Russians. I don't know which town it was. I can't remember. Where he could see the Russians from about a kilometer or two away, and couldn't see a single Ukrainian. Now you may say, "Oh, well, that's terrible," but to me, yeah, Nils, to me, what I see is the Ukrainians are withdrawing to a fortified line back here somewhere. Maybe it's going to be actually Pokrovsk itself. I don't know. But they're going to reach a point where Ukraine is going to stop. And then, I mean, in a perfect world, what they would do is get a whole big fat hairy ball of Russians up here in the front of this thing that's shaped like a certain thing, a really ugly monster of a thing, and then have forces to the north and south in kind of a pincher movement. It's the only thing that I can figure out, like, what they're doing, and maybe it's opium. It's obviously speculation, but that's what I think. So Ozzy Bugga, let's see. A few weeks ago, Andrew Perpetua was already saying the limited Russian supply lines in the Pokrovsk direction were being railed by drones. Aha. So they're extending their supply lines more and more and more. Oh, I see. So the Ukrainians were being supplied by drones. I know that Kursk, the Russians, to the extent that they are being supplied in this zone across the same river, I know that they are being supplied by drones. Okay. And by the way, I think Deep State Map looks a little bit out of. I think I need to go to Noel reports. The Deep State Map looks a little bit outdated here. Here we go. Come on. So yeah. Noel reports has a lot more arrows anyway. But yeah, so I have been hearing about Glishkovo and all of that, but also very interesting that there are apparently these cross-border raids happening. And it's all happening so fast. These cross-border raids happening down here in Belgorod. So, and Belgorod and Bryansk area, and none of those are marked on this map either. So, I don't know, guys. It's funny. Sometimes I feel like somebody like Andrew Perpetua, ATP Geopolitics, people who are further away, who can take more of a bird's eye view. Myself, and sometimes when I talk to soldiers, I guess, they they can tell a lot about tactics, about things that they did like on the line itself, like within a couple of kilometers and things, but have no idea what's going on in terms of the big picture, and Catherine sitting here feeling pretty helpless. Well, I mean, I understand, but that's funny because you were just here. Wait, are you back in Australia now, Catherine? You were just here, helping, literally physically helping. So, don't feel too bad. 53,000 have to leave the Pokrovsk region, Cheryl. Guys, what I can say is this. If you are donating, if you are watching this, if you are liking and subscribing and sharing, not just to me, but to others. Oh, so you're still in Kyiv. Okay. Sorry. Cool. That's great. Well, then you shouldn't be feeling helpless because you are doing things. You're doing good things, Catherine. Every time well, heck, let me show you. I think I've mentioned this before, okay? But if you can't do anything else, and if you'd like to help my channel, and you can't afford a membership, and you can't afford to donate for one of these things or something like that. Well, let me show you what you can do. If you want to help me, give me a second here. My computer's a little slow. Oh, by the way, guys, Rick the Ukrainian is having a premiere tonight with Johnny FD in 1 hour. So definitely check that out. And then also I see in 1.5 hours, Greg Terry is doing an update on Pokrovsk with Professor Gerdes. So that is pretty cool. He will probably, to be honest with you, I mean, I've been knee deep in drones and teenagers all week. And he will probably have better, it's like I was saying, that he will have more of a bird's eye view. I really like these tag team live streams that are happening, not just Greg Terry, but also like I've done several tag team live streams with ATP Geopolitics, Rick the Ukrainian, the Shills, all of these crossovers I think is really great. It's really helpful. And hey, Greg Terry, thanks for popping in. Yeah, I was just talking about you. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Bell, for mentioning this. As Americans, one of the simple things we can do is contact the White House and let them know that we demand that they lift the restrictions on Ukraine. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting, Catherine. I feel nothing but love and appreciation. They are intrigued why I'd come all this way to lend a hand when I explain I'm a volunteer. They are always, I just trying to explain this to Ukrainians over and over and over. Why, it's why my channel is called Why Ukraine again, because I have to explain over and over and over to Ukrainians why I'm in Ukraine, and why Americans want to help Ukraine. And they understand that the American government wants to help Ukraine. They understand that on a level. But yeah, honestly, Mitch, shouting out Darren and Greg and everybody, it was just because I I happened to see it and it popped up. But anyway, so I spent a lot of time trying to explain that to Ukrainians. I will say, like I was saying, this city that I'm in here in Ukraine right now, that I can't tell you the name of it, is so freaking patriotic. And they, interestingly, needed the least help understanding why Americans would want to come to Ukraine and help Ukraine. They were super grateful. Like I said, the priest, and you'll have to go back and watch the video in the beginning. But basically, the priest, the village priest, gave me a tour of his brand new church, and like he's my best freaking friend, to be honest, right now. Hey, Viper! Oh, thanks for coming. I'm glad you are doing well out there. So where was I? I was saying that there's a little bit of self promotion. If anything else, and you would like to help me, I've put together a playlist, and it's called "Support Ukraine in Your Sleep." And I don't know if this is okay with YouTube or not, but you can go to my playlist and just like when you go to sleep on your computer, play this playlist, and I keep it updated with my recent live streams. You can turn the sound off on your computer and just let your computer play overnight, and increase my views on my on my on my channel. And it really does make a difference. So, if you can't donate, if you don't have money to, for Greg or for me or for Jake Broe, for example, hey, you can do that. It's like it's one step up from liking and subscribing, is what I would say. For a small channel like mine, just setting this playlist to play and putting it on repeat overnight actually makes a freaking difference in terms of YouTube kind of getting rhythm, I guess. It's something. Let's see. Aussie Bugga. Okay, expat I know here was in UK at the time. He drove there. Okay. Did evacs add supply runs around Kiev? He's older than I am. Yeah. A lot of that for reals. It's a real thing. So guys, I know I'm not getting too much into the actual news today. I really just kind of wanted to talk about one thing here, but holy crap. Do you see this? OMG. Look at this article, guys. Was this written for me or what? The counteroffensive. How Ukraine uses Lord of the Rings to frame its battle for survival. Why didn't they call me? They should have asked me about this. Yeah, Canti, man with a van is a VIP in Ukraine. Yeah, to be honest with you, if I had a vehicle, right now, I would probably be doing the same thing. And I raised money for the you guys have been awesome here. Some people have told me that I should raise money and buy a vehicle and start doing that. Start doing what Greg Terry does. It's possible. Maybe I should do that. But for right now, it's more important for me to actually just join the military. So that's more what I'm focused on, to be honest. And so it felt better for me to, rather than raising medical evacuation vehicle or whatever for myself, to do some kind of volunteering um, better to give it to someone else. Um, but yeah, so anyway, this article um, is fantastic, is what I would say. Um, and it's so true, right? Um, and this is exactly what I'm doing, right? It's exactly why I've called it the Last Alliance, our little, um, our group on. And by the way, I want to make mention, um, we have this. You can on the website here. You can go down here to where it says "Join the Last Alliance," and can click on this. And this is we also have a Discord for the Last Alliance. Please understand that this is a rewards system that I'm putting together for those who donate. And I know that most of you guys, the couple hundred people who watch my live streams every week, you are not casuals, okay? And maybe you don't feel like you need rewards to be able to, to get you to donate to Ukraine. But I still want to reward you in some way. But it's not just about you, right? It's about the casuals. It's about people who care about Ukraine, but it's not in their day to day. You know, I want to just give a little extra to get people involved, you know? And so this is kind of my effort to do that. But one thing I need you to know, it's still in beta testing. As I found out, because KKG, who is KKG in here today? I don't think she is. Went to go and try and claim a reward, one of the rewards that's offered, and got some kind of an error message. So if you do that, if you join the Last Alliance on my whyukraine.com page and you get some kind of an error, please, for the love of God, let me know. Let me know. You guys are my beta testers for this, okay? I set it all up and basically didn't do any testing. I mean, minimal testing. I just kind of hoped everything would work. So, oh yeah, see, Bell, I wish there were more rallies for Ukraine in our area. I contacted the Ukrainian church in Tucson, but never heard back from them. Catherine's like, I like being in Ukraine time for the stream. No need to wake at 2 a.m. Yeah. Um, yeah, definitely. Greg, I mean, my God, Greg, yes, you are very close to the front line. I know. So thank you for coming on my stream, is what I would say. I hope that you are, and I hope that, I hope you're doing great, to be honest. Viper, thank you for coming, and dude, you're doing good work out there, man. Thanks for coming. Keith, does my order count towards rewards, or did I order before this started? When did you? Because if you ordered in if you ordered in the last month, you should be good to go. It should count. But I think you actually have to physically click on join. You have to physically go down here on the webpage and click join in order to take advantage of these points, basically. Oh, thanks, Greg. I don't know if this is a great stream or not. I'm pretty frazzled from. I don't have the stamina that you do. I'm pretty frazzled from teaching kids all day, and the memorial ceremony I went to literally minutes before our stream was really something. But anyway, back to this article. I just take a look at this article because I want to think about more ways to okay, it was about a month ago, Keith. Okay, I will have to go and check. But one thing I will say is that those of you who have donated in the past 8 or 9, when did I start this? December. I think, is when I finally got this up and running. I'm going to figure out a way to go back and kind of retroactively add points on the in the reward system for people's previous donations. So I just haven't. Oh, good, Keith. So I joined and left my email when I placed our order. That's fantastic. Okay, good. So then it's counted. It's in there. it's in there for sure. But just when you go to when you go in there and you get some reward and you're like, oh, I want to redeem a reward. If he gives you an error, if you encounter any weird things, please let me know. Take a screenshot if you can, and let me know in the live stream or come on the Discord, or just message me in the comments or something like that, because I desperately need to know. And this company that does it, it's called Ray. It's all free. They don't charge me anything for this yet. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to do that eventually, but they have been very, very helpful with their technical support. So highly responsive. It is my hope, the reason I'm kind of talking about this, Bell and Cheryl are talking about, wanting to do like rallies and things. This online last election is something that I would like to see help foster somehow. I'm not sure how to make this connection yet. I'm working on it. I have some ideas. But help foster things like what you're talking about, Bill, about fostering local communities of support. Grants his church, which is fantastic, but I think there should be at least one church in every single city in America. I do think that churches are, in many ways, the key. So today, in my at this memorial ceremony, okay, I guess there's one last thing I'll tell you. The guy that I'm working with to set up this training for the drone training with the kids, he is a veteran of Da Vinci Wolves. And so I've gotten to meet a whole bunch of Da Vinci Wolves guys, which is like a thing, like I'm getting to meet like real heroes, okay? And it's flabbergasting. And so I brought up to them this idea that you guys know I've had, and Catherine, if you're okay, you're still there, good. This idea that I have had about setting up a like this Homes for Heroes project that I was talking about months ago. But I can't do it by myself, and I need someone who's excited about it here who can help me. And they were like, dude, that's freaking awesome. Let's go talk to the mayor. So I met with the deputy mayor of the city, and they're excited about it now too. Okay, so and the subject of this is a volunteer place where volunteers can come, and we're going to renovate homes. You're going to get training on how to be a volunteer and how basic basic first aid, tourniquets, how to not die in a war zone, basic Ukrainian, some of the rules of society here, do's and don'ts. And that way, if you can only come for a week, a few days, you pay a certain amount of money, but it'll include like room and board. You won't have to get a hotel or anything. So it actually works out even. Basically, it's the same cost as you would spend if you were. But that'll help. That will basically help pay for trainers. You'll get trained by like veterans, like freaking Da Vinci Wolves. Okay. I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, if it happens, it'll happen. And then we'll see. And then my hope is that it's interesting, Cheryl, you're talking about this. Cheryl says, I contacted the Tucson Ukrainian Society and heard back from them after a couple of weeks during the time the aid was held up. It's a couple that work at the university. Yeah, see, I really feel like the secret is churches. In America, at least, the secret is churches. And getting, I don't know how to do that yet, but we're going to figure this out, guys. We got to figure it out. And I'm going to try and organize on my side so that in a way that will help you organize on your side. That's what I'm saying. Okay. And, you know, uh, this billboard, by the way, is pretty interesting. And I've seen this all over Ukraine. Okay. But what's interesting is almost every Ukrainian knows about orcs and what orcs are, but they know almost nothing, or not everyone knows about Lord of the Rings. Like, they kind of vaguely know where the term comes from at most, but so I kind of drive my students crazy a little bit, because in my English lessons, almost any time when I need a metaphor or I need to talk about something, I always refer back to something like, it's just like in Lord of the Rings when blah blah blah, Frodo and freaking Gandalf or Saruman. And it's kind of like if you've ever had a boss or maybe a family relative father who every metaphor that they try to make ends up being about sports. I'm kind of like Lord of the Rings. So I don't know. It's important for us to grasp onto a story that people, not just people who are really, really interested in Ukraine, but people who casuals, as I was saying, casuals, people who care about Ukraine, but it's not really on their radar. Something that they can latch onto. And not everybody is in. Bell, I know you're more into Star Wars, but that's Ukrainians don't know. They might not know Lord of the Rings, but they know absolutely nothing about Star Wars. I will say that. Okay, one last thing. Taras, are you still there? Are you still watching? This is the last thing before I go, guys. Yeah, isn't that an awesome billboard? Like, and this one too. Like, it's pretty amazing. Whoever did this. And there's one other one that I've seen, but it looks like it's not included. Oh, I love that on this article, there's somebody went in and commented here. Orcs were originally elves ensnared by Melkor, and deep in their dark hearts, the orcs loathed the master whom they served in fear, the maker of their only misery. This, it may be, was the vilest deed of Melkor, and the most hateful to Iluvatar. I'm so glad that a real Tolkien nerd made a comment on here. Being originally elves and having deep down a hatred of their master, used to describe the enemies of Ukraine from the Russian Federation more appropriate than using dehumanizing labels such as subhumans or animals. But Tolkien's orcs are very much in themselves evil creatures. The analogy of Ukraine to the Tolkien stories is very apt. So, that is what I will leave you with, guys. Okay, Taras, I was going to tell everybody something, but since you're still here, I'm not going to say anything about it because you'll find out tomorrow, Taras. Everybody else will find out on Saturday. Okay, so guys, thank you all for coming to this live stream. Thank you much for your donations, helping buy this car, and whoever made that big, huge donation. I apologize that I haven't thanked you enough yet. I've just been so busy. But this weekend, I'm going to find you. I'm going to find you, and I will thank you. All right. Do побачення, everybody. Slava